Davison Figueiredo, Song Gidong. I can even give him Sean O'Malley.
Whatever, dude.
Cory Sanhagan and King of Rio, Jose Aldo. Last and certainly least, we have Umar. And he has beat who? 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 And who? No one but gifted Sanhagan.
Merab Dvalishvili fired back at Umar Nurmagomedov, calling him out for avoiding the toughest path to the title.
I was backup fighter for O'Malley versus Vera, and when UFC asked Umar to be backup fighter for me and O'Malley, he said no. I mean, this guy wants title shot served to his bed like a breakfast. Biggest lesson here, Umar, get to work, you're not my level. Earn your title shot like rest of us, whose last names don't get gifts.
The rivalry between Merab Dvalishvili and Umar Nurmagomedov has become one of the most heated and talked about feuds in MMA, with both fighters openly criticizing each other in the lead up to their highly anticipated fight at UFC 311. Dvalishvili, the current bantamweight champion, has been particularly vocal, accusing Umar of receiving preferential treatment and questioning his credentials as a legitimate contender for the title. On the other hand, Nurmagomedov, who remains undefeated, has fired back, calling Dvalishvili's stance a sign of fear and accusing the champion of avoiding the fight.
I don't see Umar Nurmagomedov big challenge. Yeah, maybe he's good fighter, but number one thing, he don't deserve title fight because he's been fighting nobody's like just right before fight he beat debut guy, he wins decision, and then now he got only one win from top 15, Cory Sanhagan, and then now he's been disrespectful to me, and yeah, I will fight him, no problem, but I think he just don't deserve.
Who is finished? Nobody. He don't have chokes. He didn't knock him out. Nobody. And yes, he have good condition, and even what he doing always punch, take down. Punch, take down. Even when he take down somebody, he can't hold him. He can't take back. He can't try to choke him, do armbar. He don't have anything.
Dvalishvili has repeatedly made it clear that he believes Umar doesn't deserve an immediate title shot. He pointed out that Umar has only fought one top 15 fighter, and while that victory was impressive, he hasn't faced the elite competition that Dvalishvili has. Merab has been grinding through the rankings for years, facing top fighters like Cory Sanhagan and Peter Yan, while Umar's path has been far less difficult in comparison, according to Dvalishvili. For Merab, it's personal. He feels like Umar's quick rise is a product of his famous last name and the connections that come with it, specifically the support of his cousin, the legendary Khabib Nurmagomedov. Merab even went as far as to accuse the UFC of giving Umar a push because of Khabib's influence, undermining the value of his wins.
Ilya Tapuria no need this. We just become champion. You have to defend your title a couple of times, even one time. Please. Stay focused on your division. We have Mafsar, Aljamain Sterling, right now Max Holloway. When you have good fights on your division, be quiet. His game has levels, and he's not Islam level.
The tension between the two became even more evident during a press conference in Las Vegas. Merab wasted no time in expressing his frustration with Umar's behavior, calling him out for disrespecting him on social media. Merab believed that Umar was talking trash online rather than stepping up and being direct. He argued that a real man should face their opponent head-on rather than hiding behind a screen. Merab's anger seemed to grow with each question about Umar, with the champion accusing his opponent of avoiding a tough path to the title. He reminded everyone that he had earned his place as the champion through hard work and perseverance, while Umar had yet to prove himself against the best in the division.
Now I'm gonna fight Umar. It's gonna be a tough fight. As a fighter, he's a good fighter, but he don't earn like everybody else. Like he don't go through. Like you have to fight best of the best. But only he fought no wrestling Sanhagan, and yeah, he's good fighter. But you have to fight everybody to prove. And
Who cares? Who cares about deserve, not deserve?
be man first. You have to be man first. You are a good fighter, but you're not a good man.
The man.
You are piece of shit, okay? You are piece of shit. You lost respect. You lost respect as a man for me, okay? Real men don't talk in trash online, okay?
Okay, tell everybody what I said about your personality. I just described your behavior. You try to avoid me.
You even this doesn't mention my name.
Who are you? Fucking who you fought? You don't
I'm
even
gonna
doesn't.
show
You
you.
think I'm gonna go backwards and fight number 15?
I'm gonna show
I'm fighting
you.
for the belt.
I'm gonna
I'm a
take
fucking
this belt
champion.
and you know it.
You fucking, how dare you, sneaky guy.
Umar, for his part, remained calm and collected during the exchanges. He didn't let Merab's fiery insults rattle him. When it was his turn to speak, he made it clear that he wasn't concerned with what Dvalishvili had to say. Umar dismissed the champion's insults as just noise, instead focusing on the fight itself. He emphasized that he didn't need Merab to get to the title. His goal was the belt, not Dvalishvili. Umar's words were confident and measured, suggesting that he was ready to take the title from Merab, no matter how much the champion tried to belittle him.
UFC not owner your
You have to
company.
enjoy. You have to enjoy.
Shut up and fight.
They give you a gift and be grateful,
Thank
okay?
you, UFC, for
be
the gift.
Grateful. Be grateful.
I'm thankful.
Take it. Yes.
Thank you.
Be.
Thank
be
you.
real man,
Always.
okay? You have
I'm
to be
thankful
man
person,
first.
and I will beat
You
you.
have to be man. Be humble,
Don't
okay?
nervous. Don't nervous.
We all know, the real fans know that you getting gift this one, you know?
The back and forth continued as the press conference unfolded. At one point, Merab accused Umar of not being a man for delaying their fight. He believed that Umar had been avoiding the matchup and was using excuses to push the fight back. Merab's frustration was clear as he lashed out at Umar for not earning his place in the title picture and for disrespecting him publicly. Umar, however, didn't take the bait. He remained composed and tried to explain his position. He stated that he was simply following the UFC's matchmaking process and that he had earned his title shot through his own merits, particularly his victory over Corey Sandhagen.
This guy very sensitive. I don't know what's wrong with him. Like, he talk about I disrespect him. He talk about I'm talking too much. Like, hey, you become champion. You have to know. You become goal. Everybody want to beat you. If you don't want this, retire it. Everybody will say to you, I wish all the best for you. But right now he champion. He looking very bad when like Joe Rogan asked to him about me. He can't talk. He beginning like you know. I love Dana. It's making looking very bad. He have to talk like a champion.
The animosity between the two didn't just play out at the press conference. Merab took to social media to vent his frustrations. He posted a video in which he claimed he had been blocked from entering the UFC Performance Institute, allegedly because Umar was there. Merab was visibly upset in the video, expressing his anger at what he believed was an intentional act of disrespect by Umar. He reassured his followers that he wouldn't physically confront Umar before their fight, but warned that things would be very different once they met in the octagon. Merab's post only fueled the tension further, with both fighters continuing to take jabs at each other online.
I'm here in front of UFC PI and security don't let me go in because they said Umar Nurmagomedov is inside and they are protecting him. Don't worry guys, I'm not gonna smash him before the fight. But January 18 is different story. I'm not able to go in UFC PI because I was supposed to get treatments for my injury. I was supposed to sign some cards. I was supposed to eat lunch with my friends. What the heck? I'm gonna smash this guy because of all the disrespect, all the lies he was saying. You better show up, Umar. Okay, today you will be protected. Don't worry, I'm not gonna punch you before the fight. But January 18, no one will protect you.
Despite all the talk, both fighters have emphasized that they respect each other's skills. Merab has repeatedly said that he treats all his opponents like killers, and Umar is no different. He recognizes that Umar is a talented wrestler and striker, but he remains unconvinced that his opponent has faced the same level of competition. Merab has admitted that this fight will be a tough challenge for him, but he remains confident that he is the better fighter. He understands that Umar is a rising star in the sport, but he believes that he has earned his place at the top through years of hard work and sacrifice.
The most deserving guy is Figueiredo, but I guess UFC wanted to me fight Umar. I see the comments, everybody wanted me fight Umar. Umar is new challenge, you know.
He's definitely good. He
Yeah.
just has a fairly padded record, like we said.
Yeah, of course, but and then also same time, guys like this makes me work hard and go more hard. I will fight
You'll
Umar.
fight
He's a-
whoever. I like that. You'll fight whoever.
yes.
On the other hand, Umar has made it clear that he feels no fear going into this fight. He has been vocal about his belief that Merab is scared of him and has been avoiding the matchup. In his mind, the champion is doing everything he can to delay the inevitable. Umar has also stated that he has no personal issue with Merab, and that his goal is simply to take the title from him. He believes that his rise to the top has been earned through his own hard work and dedication, not just because of his family name. Umar has even gone so far as to say that he doesn't need Merab's approval to prove himself, as his performances in the cage speak for themselves.
In UFC, you don't deserve fights for the title or for something. If this fight will sell pay-per-view, if it's gonna be, if people love it, it's gonna happen. And nobody don't care about Merab don't want, O'Malley don't want. It's his problem. They have to sleep with about mine. He don't deserve, and I will fight with him. It's his problem.
For its part, the UFC has been caught in the middle of this heated feud. Dana White, the UFC's president, has been vocal about his desire to see this fight happen. He believes that the tension between Merab and Umar will make for an exciting and entertaining showdown. White has expressed confidence that both fighters will deliver in the octagon, regardless of their personal differences. The UFC has been promoting the fight as one of the most anticipated matchups in recent memory, with fans eager to see how this bitter rivalry will play out when the two finally meet inside the cage.
Do you think there's a chance he's kind of intimidated by this Umar fight though, right? He seems to really not want this fight, or doesn't feel like Umar deserves it. Do you think there's some mind games going on here, or do you think Umar may be in his head?
Listen, I don't think that any of these guys are afraid of anybody. I'm sure there's certain guys they'd rather wait to fight, and you know, they all have their reasons or whatever, but to say that Merab's fighting people in the fucking stands, okay? Merab would get in a fight in the middle of the fighter section. That's why we moved him over to the left. So I wouldn't say that any of these guys are afraid of anybody or any fight, but you know, fighters are a paranoid bunch. You know, that there's always some conspiracy against them, whether it's us or other people, or we make fights that people want to see. They win or lose the fights on their own, but they are conspiracy theory. They always think that somebody is against them, and maybe that's what they need to do to have that mental thing to go out and do what they do.
Meanwhile, Javier Mendez, a coach with close ties to Umar and his team, has weighed in on the situation. Mendez, who has trained Umar for much of his career, believes that the feud between the fighters is adding fuel to the fire and making the fight even more intriguing for fans. He also defended Umar's place in the title picture, pointing out that his victory over Corey Sandhagen was a significant achievement that warranted a title shot. Mendez has been outspoken in his support of Umar, saying that the undefeated fighter is ready to take on Merab and that he believes Umar will win the fight. Sean O'Malley shared his thoughts on the fight during a YouTube segment, expressing his preference for Dvalishvili to retain the title. O'Malley noted that a win for Dvalishvili would set up a potential rematch for him to reclaim the title he lost to the Machine. He also mentioned that a victory for Umar would create another high-profile fight, though he seemed to favor the first scenario.
Omar and Merab, what do you think of those two?
In my mind, it's like I want the winner, whether it's Umar or Merab. I prefer Merab. I want to get that one back, bad. Like I want that one back. And I don't feel like people are super excited about that fight just because the first way it played out. But I think if people rewatch that fight, it was a lot closer fight.
You did hurt him with the body shot, right?
Dude, I had him really running around in the 5th round. Like 80% of that round, he was like literally just circling around, holding his guts. He took me down 6 times out of 15. I stuffed 9 of his takedowns. Say I 1 or 2 more of those takedowns, I win that fight.
Meanwhile, Henry Cejudo reminisced about spotting Umar Nurmagomedov's potential long before he entered the UFC. Cejudo reflected on his early recognition of Umar's talent and described him as someone destined for greatness. He praised Umar's growth and even expressed his belief that Nurmagomedov would become champion, possibly holding the title for as long as he chose to. Cejudo's comments highlighted the respect that one of MMA's most accomplished figures has for the rising star.
Merab Dvalishvili. His run is gonna run out. Umar is just too dangerous. Umar could take him down as well. He's got good top control. He's got great striking, good distance recognition. And when they asked Merab Dvalishvili the question, you know, Umar Nurmagomedov is here. You know, what do you think about your potential fighting next? He's like, oh, I love the UFC. I love Dana White. Global warming. Let's make America great again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he never really answered the question. If you don't fight a guy like Umar, the UFC is going to make you fight a guy like Umar.
your career as a champion is pretty much done.
Kamaru Usman also expressed his admiration for Umar on his podcast. Usman noted that he liked the way Umar thinks, mentioning that he could relate to the criticism and doubts Umar faced early in his career, similar to the skepticism Usman encountered in his own journey. Usman encouraged Nurmagomedov, wishing him success as he ascends to the top of the bantamweight division and potentially follows in the footsteps of other successful Nurmagomedov family members.
Just mentally, I like where you're at, and I like the way you think about it, because I was in a similar position to where I wanted to fight with Wonder Boy at the time, and they say the same thing to me, don't deserve it. And I wanted to fight with everybody in the top 5, and they say the same thing to me, you don't deserve it, don't deserve it. No, they turn, I don't want to fight him, I don't want to fight him. And I remember, and it's on Anatomy of a Fight, I remember one time I just say, you know what?
Luke Thomas analyzed the upcoming fight from a technical perspective, emphasizing how challenging this matchup could be for Umar. Thomas acknowledged Umar's impressive conditioning, striking, and takedowns, but pointed out that he has never faced a competitor like Dvalishvili, whose relentless pace and wrestling could push the undefeated fighter to his limits.
It's a competitive fight. I mean, it's a competitive fight in either direction. You've got both guys have something to offer the other one. In the case of Merab, as I mentioned, a motor like there has absolutely never been one in MMA. And Umar doesn't necessarily have that, although he is well conditioned. But I think his ability to scramble underneath, to stop takedowns and strike on the feet could be a bit of a problem. However, I'm going to say it one more time, he has not fought a guy as good as Merab, just matter-of-factly. And for Merab, man, you really got to admire the grit here by this guy, really taking on, I mean, just consider his murderer's run up to this point.
Lucas Tracy took a more critical view of Dvalishvili's chances in the fight. Tracy dismissed the idea that Dvalishvili dominated O'Malley in their encounter and described Merab as a fighter who can sometimes appear invincible. He predicted a one-sided fight with Umar winning every round, pointing to Dvalishvili's lackluster performance against O'Malley and Umar's impressive undefeated record as factors in his prediction. Tracy also expressed surprise at how underrated Umar's striking ability is, arguing that it might be the second best in the bantamweight division, yet it often gets overlooked by many analysts.
No one really talks about this guy as being the second fastest guy behind only Sean O'Malley in the bantamweight division, and that's exactly what I saw when he was piecing up Corey Sandhagen. Now, early on in that fight, Umar looked a little bit green on the feet. It looked like Corey Sandhagen was going to give him the business. And then second, third, fourth, fifth, Umar Nurmagomedov's out here landing 5, 6-piece combos on Corey Sandhagen, making him look like a slowpoke, making him look like a fool. And these are basic combinations, but this man's speed is on another level.
As the fight approaches, the animosity between these two fighters continues to grow. The buildup has been filled with insults, accusations, and personal attacks, but all of that will be put to the test when the cage door closes. UFC 311 promises to be an explosive event, with Merab Dvalishvili and Umar Nurmagomedov set to settle their differences once and for all. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.